I don't believe anyone has the right to comment on my body because I could be just fine with it and love myself exactly as I am.
But what if you're not?
My art and my music started to build a little bit more momentum, and we were getting played on the radio, and eventually people started coming up to me, recognizing me a little bit and asking for pictures and pushing positive vibes in my direction and telling me how much they liked me and my art form and what I was doing. And my own self-images and my own self-beliefs and what I thought about myself really wouldn't let me accept that to a level where I felt like I was worthy of that. I was worth people actually enjoying the artwork I was putting forward. In my own head, I saw an image of a person who was overweight. I saw an image of a person who wasn't worth the attention.
There's a definition of insanity where you do the same thing over and over again, and you kind of get to the same point, but you expect to do the same behavior and get to a different place. Well, that's sort of how I felt with dieting. Even if there were times that I was able to lose the weight that I wanted, even if there was a time when I actually reached a goal weight, well, that felt very much like a fleeting moment because, yeah, it felt good to get there, but then I quickly realized that, all the things that I expected to happen because I was now a certain weight didn't really happen. I didn't all of a sudden have, this massive change in, the quality of the relationships that I had, or find the perfect guy, or all of a sudden I get, promoted at work. And so all these other things weren't really changing, which I guess really made me start to think maybe it was something more about who I was being and what I was doing. But it did take a while to get to that realization, and I really want to make sure that I emphasize the point that it took a lot of help to get me there.
I would say that my journey really began when I started focusing more on the mental health side of how I was feeling and realizing that there was more to me than just what I thought other people saw. There was more to me that I had to offer to people.
One of the reasons that I really started to take on this idea that, my worth was more than a number on a scale was because I did start to see a professional. In seeing that weight management doctor and seeing healthcare professionals that were really geared up and understood the concepts around why we get to be a certain weight and how we can manage that weight, that community for me was invaluable. All those years that I struggled with my weight, that I struggled with how I felt about myself, I feel like I didn't have the community around me that would have helped me change the way I thought about that and change the behaviors that I had that weren't serving me that well.
I know it could have made a real difference in my journey to have people I could feel open enough to talk to that weren't going to judge, understood my stories, have been where I've been, know how I'm feeling. Is very important.
I would love for people to open their minds to the possibility that this person who's living with obesity could be happy, could be successful, could be depressed, could be struggling. The human experience cannot be summed up in someone's size, that they have a total and full life. And if they do want to change their relationship with food or the relationship with their body, we can only do that in an environment that is encouraging, nurturing, and loving. An environment that is shaming and harsh serves no one and helps no one.
And that's what Obesity Action is about. It's a community where people can come to find others that are like-minded, have had similar situations. We want people to share their stories, and we then want those stories to help create change in our society. We're looking to create a movement. We want to get rid of the bias and stigma that's associated right now with someone that's living with excess weight. So we want people to be part of a movement to do that.
I'm 29 years old, and in my lifetime, I would love to see a world where we don't see numbers on a scale, we just see people.